Welcome to Bedtime Tales. Settle in, let the day grow quiet, and make yourself comfortable. Tonight, a warm night train carries us gently through rain and sleeping hills. Rain lies softly across the little hill station, smoothing the dark platform stones and gathering in silver beads along the edge of the shelter roof. Beyond the glass doors, an amber lamp glows over polished wood, folded blankets, and a row of deep green seats. The night train waits beside the platform with its windows warm and still. Inside the carriage, the air carries the mild scent of clean wool, old wood, and peppermint leaves. Your coat rests on a brass hook near the door, its shoulders darkened by the warm rain. A soft blanket lies across your lap, light enough to fold easily and heavy enough to hold a little warmth. The seat curves gently around your back. Its green cloth has been brushed smooth by many quiet journeys, and the wooden armrest feels warm beneath your hand. Near the window, a small shaded lamp makes a calm circle of light, leaving the aisle beyond it soft and dim. Rain moves down the glass in slow, wandering lines. Each line catches the amber light for a moment, then joins another line and slips out of sight. Past the window, the low station roof and the wet stones rest beneath the same silver rain. The carriage is almost empty. Farther along, another lamp glows above an unoccupied table, and a folded newspaper remains tucked into a wooden rack. There are no voices, only the rain on the roof and the low, even murmur of the waiting train. A cup stands in a round holder beside the window. Warm peppermint tea sends up a thin ribbon of steam, carrying a clean green scent through the amber light. The cup is smooth and pleasantly warm when held between both hands. The platform lamp passes through the steam and turns it pale gold. For a little while, the train remains where it is, quiet beside the hill station, as if the carriage and the rain have found the same easy pace. Nothing waits to be finished here. The coat is hung, the blanket is drawn close, and the tea is warm. The doors close with a low, padded sound. It is not a beginning that asks for attention. It is only one more gentle sound among the rain, the lamp, and the soft hum beneath the floor. The train eases away from the platform. The station roof begins to drift past the window, followed by a bench shining with rain and a row of small garden shrubs. The amber platform lamp moves behind the carriage until it becomes a blurred bead of light, then rests far back in the wet night. The wheels find their calm rhythm beneath you. A smooth rolling sound passes through the floor and rises into the wooden walls, steady and low. Rain brushes the roof above it, softer now, and the two sounds settle together without effort. Outside, the last houses of the hill village slide by at a restful distance. Curtains are drawn across most windows, while a few lamps remain lit behind pale cloth. Wet garden walls gleam briefly, and dark hedges hold round drops of rain along every leaf. The train follows a gentle curve. From the window, the front carriages appear for a moment as a line of warm squares bending through the rain. Then the track straightens, and the view returns to quiet fields under a deep gray sky. The blanket has warmed across your knees. Its woven edge is soft against your wrist, and the faint scent of clean wool blends with peppermint and rain. The cup rests in its holder again, sending up less steam now, though its sides remain warm. Fields open beyond the glass, wide and dark, divided by low stone walls. Water rests in the grass and reflects the clouded sky. Here and there, a small shed stands beneath a sloping roof, tucked into the land as naturally as a stone beside a path. The wheel rhythm remains even. It carries no message and asks for no answer. It is simply there beneath the seat, a low rolling measure that makes the carriage feel sheltered and complete. A narrow stream appears beside the track. Rain has softened its banks and deepened its quiet surface, and the water follows the train for a little while beneath drooping grasses. The stream catches the light from the carriage windows, holding a few moving amber shapes before the track bends away. Inside, the shaded lamp makes the wooden table shine like honey. Tiny marks in the grain curve around one another, pale and dark, polished smooth by years of sleeves, cups, and folded hands. A brass rim circles the lamp base, glowing without brightness. The peppermint tea has cooled enough for a slow sip. Its warmth spreads gently and then fades, leaving the clean scent of leaves. The cup returns to the holder, and the soft click of pottery against wood disappears into the wheels and rain. The carriage passes beneath a line of tall trees. Wet branches arch over the track, and leaves turn their dark faces toward the windows. For a few moments, rain gathers more deeply on the roof, making a fuller hush, then becomes light again as the trees fall behind. The land rises gradually. Fields become long slopes, and stone walls climb beside the rails in broad, patient steps. Mist rests low among the hills, hiding their tops and making each nearer ridge look softer than the one before it. A distant farmhouse lamp shows through the mist. It is a small, steady glow above a dark yard, with no movement around it. The lamp remains in view across several fields, then slips behind a fold of land, safe within its quiet place. The seat gives a little beneath your weight as the train follows another curve. The blanket shifts across your lap and settles again. The movement is mild, almost like the gentle sway of a hanging coat when a door closes elsewhere in a warm room. Rain traces new paths down the window. Some drops remain round and clear, holding tiny upside-down lamps within them. Others travel slowly, joining one another until their silver lines reach the lower frame. The glass is cool near the edge, while the lamp warms the air beside your shoulder. Between those two small temperatures, the carriage holds a pleasant balance. Cool rain stays outside. Warm wool, smooth wood, and peppermint remain within. A low bridge carries the train across the stream again. The water is wider here, moving around flat stones with a pale gray shine. Reeds bend over the banks, washed clean by the rain, and the bridge gives back one deep, rounded sound before the wheels return to their usual rhythm. The aisle lamp at the far end has been lowered. Its light now rests close to the ceiling, dim enough to leave the green seats in shadow. The small lamp beside you remains steady, an amber circle against the wet dark. Beyond the fields, a cluster of hills gathers under the clouds. Their sides are covered with grass and patches of old woodland. Mist moves between them in broad, pale layers, not hiding the land so much as wrapping it in quiet softness. The train enters the first cutting through the hills. Stone rises near the window, dark with rain and threaded with small ferns. Water shines along the rock in narrow lines. Then the stone opens, and the view expands once more into a wide valley. The valley floor holds a chain of little ponds. Their surfaces are smooth beneath the rain, each one reflecting a different shade of gray. Low willows stand beside them, their wet branches hanging close to the water. The wheel rhythm continues beneath the carriage. Rolling, resting, rolling, resting. The sound remains low enough to feel rather than follow, while rain whispers over the roof in a finer pattern. Your hands rest on the blanket. The woven cloth is warm now, and its threads make small ridges beneath your fingertips. A narrow blue border runs along the edge, muted in the lamp glow. The peppermint scent has grown faint, joining the wool and polished wood. The cup is nearly empty, and the last warmth remains in its thick base. Everything needed for the journey is already here, and everything within reach has found its place. A small station passes without the train stopping. Its platform is sheltered by a slate roof, and one amber lamp shines over a closed door and a pot of wet lavender. The station name is hidden by rain and distance, leaving only the peaceful shape of the building as it drifts behind. The rails begin to climb more steadily. The train does not strain or change its calm voice. It moves at the same gentle pace, carrying the warm squares of its windows upward through grass, stone, and mist. A narrow lane runs beside the track. Puddles fill the shallow wheel marks, and a row of ash trees stands along the verge. The lane turns toward a group of stone cottages, where rain shines on chimneys and small porch roofs. One cottage window holds a low golden light. A curtain hangs half drawn, and a wooden chair can be seen near the glass. The brief view is enough. The room is warm, the lane is quiet, and the cottage rests where it belongs. The train turns away from the lane and enters a stretch of open moor. Heather lies dark across the ground, softened by silver patches of wet grass. The land seems broad and simple here, with no fences near the rails and no lights beneath the mist. The carriage sways gently from side to side. The movement loosens the folds of the blanket, then gathers them again. The shaded lamp stays steady, casting the same amber light over the table and cup. Rain on the glass, wheels beneath the floor, warmth across your knees. Each returns in its own quiet way. None of it changes much. None of it needs to. A stone signal house appears at the side of the track, small and neatly kept. Light glows behind one high window, though no figure is visible. A covered porch protects a stack of dry wood, and rain runs from the roof into a bed of dark gravel. Past the signal house, the track divides and joins again. The crossing rails make a slightly deeper rhythm for a few moments, a rounded pattern beneath the ordinary rolling sound. Then the train is back on one smooth line through the hills. The mist has lowered around the carriage. It gathers close to the window, pale and soft, leaving only nearby grass and the silver rails visible. The outer world becomes smaller, and the warm interior seems deeper and more sheltered. Drops travel down the glass against the blank mist. The lamp reflects beside them, doubled and softened, so that another amber shade seems to float just outside. It moves with the carriage, always near, while the hills remain hidden. The seat opposite is empty, its green cloth smooth beneath the dim aisle light. A folded blanket rests on its corner. Above it, a wooden rack holds nothing at all, and its brass edge catches one thin line of gold. The train passes into a short tunnel. Rain disappears from the roof, and the wheels sound fuller against the stone. The shaded lamp becomes the only clear light in the window, reflected over dark glass like a quiet room beyond the room. The tunnel is long enough for the carriage to feel completely enclosed, warm wood moving through cool stone. Its sounds remain even and soft. The lamp, blanket, cup, and green seat keep their familiar shapes. Open air returns with a muted wash of rain. The train has climbed above the lower mist, and the hills now lie in broad dark folds beneath a lighter sky. Far below, small clouds rest in the valley where the ponds and cottages have disappeared. The view is wide, though nothing in it calls for close attention. Wet grass slopes away from the track. Old stone walls cross the hills. A few dark pines stand together on a ridge, their branches holding the last of the rain. The tea is finished. The empty cup remains in its holder, still carrying the faint, clean scent of peppermint. Its purpose is complete, and it can rest there until morning without another thought. A deeper fold of the blanket covers your hands. The cloth has taken on the warmth of the carriage, and its soft weight settles more fully across your lap. The wooden armrest remains smooth beneath one wrist. The train moves along the high ridge. On one side, mist fills the valley like pale water. On the other, the hillside rises gently toward a line of rain-dark stones. The rails hold a level path between them. A small reservoir comes into view below. Its surface is almost the same color as the sky, with only a narrow dark shore to separate them. Rain makes no visible rings from this distance. The water simply rests, wide and quiet beneath the cloud. Near the reservoir stands a keeper's cottage with a green roof. A lamp glows in one downstairs window, and thin smoke lies close to the chimney before blending with the mist. The cottage passes slowly, then becomes one warm point beside the water. The wheels continue their low measure. The carriage continues its easy sway. Rain continues to find the roof and glass. These simple things fill the night without crowding it. The ridge begins a long, gradual descent. The train follows it with the same calm pace, curving between grassy banks where small white flowers have closed for the night. Water gathers in the ditches and moves beside the rails in narrow silver threads. Inside the carriage, the amber lamp seems softer than before. Its shade is made of cream-colored glass, smooth at the center and faintly ridged along the rim. Light spreads downward over the table and fades before reaching the floor. The floor itself is covered by a dark woven runner. Its muted pattern is almost hidden in shadow, though a thin border can be seen beside the seat. The carriage feels quiet from roof to floor, each surface holding its own small share of warmth. Another bridge carries the train over a wooded hollow. The trees below are dark with rain, their upper leaves shining where the carriage light reaches them. A narrow river winds between the trunks, appearing and fading as the bridge passes overhead. The bridge sound is low and brief. It gathers beneath the wheels, rounds into a gentle hum, and returns to the softer rhythm of the track. Nothing else changes. The blanket remains warm and the lamp remains near. Beyond the hollow, the hills are lower. Meadows spread between clusters of trees, and fences return beside the rails. Rain has become finer, almost a drifting mist, leaving tiny beads along the outer edge of the window. A long farmhouse sits back from the track. Its roof shines darkly, and several empty chairs stand beneath a covered terrace. A barn door is closed, the yard is still, and one lamp above the porch makes a pale pool on the wet ground. The train passes, leaving the farmhouse to its night. The porch lamp becomes smaller through the rain until it rests among the other distant lights, each one held safely behind glass. The peppermint scent is barely there now. Clean wool and old wood remain, familiar and warm. The air from a small vent near the window is cool enough to keep the carriage fresh, though the blanket holds every bit of gathered warmth. The track follows the river through the lower hills. Water shows between alder trees, broad and dark, moving at nearly the same calm pace as the train. Every so often, a gap in the branches reveals a pale reflection of the sky. Along the bank, wet stones make a soft gray border. Ferns lean over them, and the last rain slips from leaf to leaf before reaching the river. The scene repeats in gentle changes, trees and water, stones and grass, then trees again. The shaded lamp reflects in the window above the river. Its amber circle passes over trunks and branches without touching them, a warm companion carried by the glass. When the trees grow dense, the reflection becomes clear. When the river opens, it fades into the pale sky. A village gathers along the water. Small houses stand behind garden walls, their roofs sloping toward the rain. A bakery window is dark, a little square is empty, and flower boxes rest beneath upstairs windows with their leaves washed clean. The train slows beside the village platform. No one enters the carriage, and no one leaves it. The doors remain closed while the platform lamp, wooden bench, and covered baskets rest beyond the glass. For a quiet moment, the wheels are still. Rain taps lightly on the roof again, each drop distinct within the pause. The carriage hum continues beneath the floor, low and steady, while the amber lamp warms the polished table. Then the train moves on. The platform slides back, the village houses turn away behind trees, and the wheel rhythm returns as smoothly as a blanket resting after a small movement. The river remains beside the rails for a little longer. It widens near an old stone mill whose wheel is still. Water passes beneath the building in a dark, even flow, and warm light rests behind two small windows high above the bank. The mill disappears around a bend. The river turns away soon after, leaving the train among level fields. Hedgerows divide the land into soft, dark shapes, and the mist hangs just above them. For a while, an old orchard follows the track. The trees stand in neat, open rows on a shallow slope, their branches dark and rounded beneath the rain. Small drops gather at every twig, catching the passing carriage light before the orchard recedes into mist. A low stone shed rests near the orchard gate. Its roof is covered with wet moss, soft and deep green, and a wooden bar lies across the closed door. A narrow path reaches it through the grass, pale with rain and empty under the clouded sky. The carriage passes a line of beech trees where copper leaves remain beneath the higher branches. Rain has darkened the leaf bed and made the trunks look smooth and silver. Between the trees, the ground rises gently toward an unseen lane. The amber lamp reflects over the beech trunks, floating across them as the train goes by. It appears close to the glass and warm against the woodland, then fades when the trees open onto another field. A folded cloth lies beneath the empty cup in its wooden holder. The cloth is cream-colored with a narrow green seam, dry and clean, ready for a drop that never comes. Like the cup and the table, it has nothing more to do tonight. The train rolls across a broad meadow where rainwater gathers in shallow pools. Pale grass shows through the water, bending in one direction under the quiet weather. Along the far side, pollard willows mark the course of a hidden ditch. One willow stands closer to the rails. Its trunk is wide and softly furrowed, and its long, wet branches lean toward the meadow. The tree passes the window slowly, filling the glass with silver leaves before the open land returns. The seat remains comfortable beneath the warmed blanket. Its cloth is firm at the edges and softer through the center, shaped for rest without being too deep. A small wooden button near the armrest glows dully in the lamplight, untouched and unneeded. Beyond the meadow, a covered footbridge crosses the tracks. Dark timber sides protect a narrow walkway, and rain gleams along the little roof. No footsteps sound above. The bridge gives one soft shadow to the carriage, then the warm window light opens again. A row of allotment gardens appears on the other side. Their gates are closed, and their small glass houses hold the gray reflection of the sky. Water barrels stand beneath gutters, nearly full, while sleeping herbs and broad leaves rest in tidy beds. At the edge of the gardens, a potting shed has a lamp under its porch. The door is closed, the tools are inside, and a pair of clean clay pots stands upside down on a shelf. Rain falls beyond the porch light in fine silver lines. The gardens drift behind. Wet hedges gather close to the track, carrying the scent of leaves through the small air vent for a moment. It is a cool green scent, faint beside the warm wood and the last trace of peppermint. The wheel rhythm changes gently over a section of older rail. Its low pattern grows a little more textured, like rain moving from glass to leaves, then smooths again without disturbing the quiet carriage. A narrow road crosses beneath the train. Two lamps glow beside the underpass, shining on wet stone walls and a ribbon of empty pavement. Their light passes under the carriage and falls behind, leaving the road complete and still. The fields beyond are planted with tall summer grain. Rain has bowed the pale heads into broad, soft waves, and the wind moves them only slightly. The whole field carries one muted silver color beneath the cloud. Far across the grain, a long barn rests beside three rounded trees. Its roof is dark, its doors are closed, and a sheltered lamp glows above a stack of neatly covered hay. There is no movement in the yard, only rain touching the roof and grass. The train enters a shallow avenue of linden trees. Their leaves form a loose green roof over the rails, letting the rain through in larger, slower drops. Each drop reaches the carriage roof with a soft, rounded tap amid the finer hush. The avenue continues long enough for the linden trunks to take on the wheel rhythm. Trunk and space, dark wood and pale field. The pattern is calm and even, softened by water on the glass. When the avenue ends, the sky seems wider. Low clouds lie across a plain where drainage channels shine between meadows. The channels hold narrow ribbons of gray light, straight and quiet, with reeds resting along their edges. A heron stands far from the track beside one channel, pale and still among the reeds. It does not turn toward the train. Its long shape remains part of the wet field until distance and mist gently hide it. Inside, the lamp warms the same small circle of wood. The cup, folded cloth, blanket edge, and smooth armrest remain arranged around that light. Their familiar forms make the passing plane feel even quieter. A little farther on, the channels join a broad, reed-lined mere. Dark water rests between pale stems, and low islands of grass appear through the rain. The train follows its edge without changing pace, carried on firm ground just above the quiet water. Small shelters stand among the reeds, built of weathered wood with sloping roofs. Their shutters are closed, and narrow walkways lead back toward the fields. Each shelter rests above its own reflection, softened into gray and green by the fine rain. The mere widens, opening a long view beneath the clouds. No boats move across it. A line of low trees marks the far shore, nearly hidden by mist, while the nearer reeds lean together in broad, gentle groups. The carriage window holds both the water and the amber lamp. Cool gray fills most of the glass, and the warm circle floats near your shoulder. The two colors remain together until the track leaves the shore and enters another stand of trees. These trees are young birches, their pale trunks close and slender. Wet leaves flicker softly as the carriage light passes, not bright, only briefly silver against the dark ground. The grove gives way to a grassy bank covered with small ferns. The bank rises near the window, making the carriage feel enclosed again. Rain runs through the fern leaves and gathers in the dark earth below. A narrow wooden fence follows the top of the bank, its rails shining beneath the night sky. Soon the land opens. The mere, birches, and grassy bank rest behind the train, each complete and quiet. Ahead there are only broad fields, a low veil of rain, and the steady rails carrying the warm carriage onward. A broad oak stands alone near the center of one field, its crown rounded and dark. The rain has given every branch a soft sheen. For several moments it remains beside the moving window, calm against the pale mist, before distance folds it gently into the land. The hour feels deep and unmeasured. There is only the carriage moving through rain, the amber pool of light, and the quiet weight of wool. The hills behind are already folded into cloud, and the way ahead needs no thought. A gentle warmth remains where the cup rested between your hands. Your fingers lie loosely over the blanket, following no pattern in its weave. The seat supports your shoulders, and the wooden wall beside it holds the faint vibration of the wheels. Rain gathers once more, fuller across the roof. It sounds broad and soft, like many small leaves being turned at the same time. The window becomes a moving veil, with fields and hedges blurred into long gray-green bands. The carriage light turns every drop near the glass into a brief thread of gold. Farther away, the landscape remains cool and dim. Warmth within, rain beyond, wheels below. The same simple shelter travels onward. A line of poplar trees appears and passes one by one. Their narrow forms are softened by water on the glass, each tree darkening the window for a moment before the next takes its place. Beyond them, a quiet lake lies among low meadows. The lake is only partly visible through the rain. A small boathouse stands at its edge with the door closed, and a wooden landing reaches a short way over the water. Everything there is still beneath the wet night. The train curves inland, and the lake fades. The lamp beside you gives a gentle gleam to the empty cup, tracing its rim and handle. The blue border of the blanket looks darker now, almost the color of the rain beyond the window. The aisle has grown very quiet. The far lamp remains low, and the empty seats have become simple shapes in the dimness. Their wooden edges catch soft lines of light, while the green cloth settles into shadow. The wheel rhythm seems farther away, though it has not changed. It rises through the floor, passes gently through the seat, and becomes part of the warmth around you. Rain brushes the roof, close and soft. Fields continue beyond the glass. A gate, a hedge, a low wall. Each appears without asking to be remembered, and each returns to the night. The train carries no unfinished task through them. The coat on the brass hook has dried. Its cloth hangs smoothly now, and one sleeve rests against the wooden wall. It will be ready when morning comes, though morning is still far beyond the rain. A final cluster of village lights glows across the fields. They are small and scattered, some pale, some amber, each softened by mist. No road can be seen between them. They simply rest in the dark land like lamps placed on a distant shelf. The train does not stop again. It moves through the lower country with an easy, level sound. The hills have passed. The river has turned away. Every place seen through the window is complete within itself. Your empty cup is still. The blanket is still. The shaded lamp is still. Only the rain travels down the glass, and only the wheels roll beneath the floor. The sentences of the night grow simple. Wet fields, warm wood, a quiet seat, a soft wool edge beneath your hand. Rain on the roof. Amber light near the window. The low roll of the train. A little warmth held close. The carriage moves gently onward. The fields rest in mist. The lamp stays low. The blanket stays warm. Rain moves over the glass. The wheels turn softly beneath you. Nothing is waiting. Nothing is left open. Only warm light. Only quiet rain. Only the train, moving easily through the sleeping hills beneath the silver clouds.